Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about one of the most important principles that governs success, self-discipline. We live in a world full of distractions, temptations, and shortcuts. In the midst of this, the people who rise above the rest are those who master the art of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to stay focused, to keep pushing forward when you'd rather quit, to make the right choices when the wrong ones seem so easy. It's about setting your sights on your goals and doing what's necessary to achieve them, regardless of the challenges or setbacks that may arise. Think about it. You can have all the talent in the world, all the potential, but without self-discipline, that potential will go untapped. You can have the best ideas, the best intentions, but without the discipline to follow through, those ideas will never come to life. Success isn't just about big dreams. It's about the small, consistent actions you take each day. Success is built on habits, and those habits are formed by discipline. Remember, self-discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about getting up each day and giving your best, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. It's about mastering your emotions, your actions, and your time. It's about being strong enough to say no to the things that don't serve your goals and having the strength to say yes to the things that will move you closer to your dreams. So ask yourself today, how disciplined am I? How committed am I to my success? Because ultimately, it's your self-discipline that will determine how far you can go in life. Success doesn't come from occasional bursts of effort. It comes from the consistent habits you form and maintain. Discipline is about doing the right thing even when no one is watching. The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you create for yourself. Freedom to do what you want when you want because you've put in the work necessary to achieve it. Self-discipline is about mastering your emotions. Don't let your feelings dictate your actions. Make decisions based on your long-term goals, not short-term desires. Self-discipline is the ability to keep going when the going gets tough. It's not about instant results. It's about staying the course over time, knowing that the payoff will come with persistence. Every small action you take today adds up to your future success. Self-discipline means making decisions in the present that will pay off in the future. Life is full of immediate rewards that can lead us astray, quick pleasures, distractions, and temptations. Discipline is the ability to say no to what's easy now in order to say yes to what's better in the long run. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent, disciplined actions that compound over time. Stay steady, stay focused, and don't get discouraged by small setbacks. Self-discipline means taking full responsibility for your actions and choices. You don't blame circumstances or other people for your situation. If you want success, you must own it and act with purpose every single day. Success is not a singular event or a flash of brilliance that happens overnight. No, success is the product of what you do every single day. It's in the small, consistent actions you take, the habits you form, and the decisions you make on a daily basis. When you wake up in the morning, you're not just setting yourself up for today, you're setting yourself up for your future. Every little thing you do adds up. Now, it might seem like those small actions don't matter much in the moment. Skipping one workout, eating one unhealthy meal, or putting off one task may not seem like a big deal, but let me tell you, over time, they compound. And on the flip side, consistently making the right decisions, whether it's sticking to a plan, working on your goals, or choosing to read something that will improve your life, those small choices build momentum. They lead to bigger results down the road. You can talk about success all you want, but success doesn't come from talking. It comes from doing. It comes from making those daily habits non-negotiable. It comes from having the discipline to stick with those routines, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between those who eventually achieve their goals and those who only dream about them. The road to success is paved with the seemingly insignificant moments, the small efforts, the steady progress. It's the person who shows up every day and does what's required even when no one is watching that will build the life they desire. You've heard it said before, success leaves clues. And those clues are not always grand gestures or extraordinary moments. Sometimes they're in the quiet persistence of sticking to your habits. It's the person who reads a book every day, who exercises consistently, who makes those calls, who works on their business every single day, who is quietly building their future. You must ask yourself, are you building the right daily habits? Are your habits supporting your goals, or are they working against them? If you want to change your life, you don't need to make huge leaps to take small, consistent steps in the right direction. Here's something important you need to understand. Discipline is not about restrictions. It's not about putting chains on your life. In fact, discipline is what creates freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life, your time, and your future. Think about it. When you're disciplined, you're making choices that support the life you want to live. You choose to work hard now so that you can enjoy the rewards later. You choose to set boundaries with your time, so you have more of it to spend on what truly matters. The disciplined person makes decisions with purpose, knowing that every effort today is a step toward the freedom they seek tomorrow. Without discipline, you become a slave to distractions. You let life push you around, and before you know it, you've wasted time, opportunities, and energy. But when you take control, when you make discipline your ally, you start to see that true freedom isn't about doing whatever you want, whenever you want. It's about creating the kind of life where you have the power to choose what you do with your time, where you have the resources to live the life you dream of, and where you have the peace of mind knowing you're in charge of your destiny. Discipline allows you to say no to things that don't serve your greater goals and yes to the things that will take you where you want to go. It creates the foundation upon which you build your life. Without discipline, you're just reacting to the world around you. But with discipline, you're shaping the world according to your values and vision. Take the disciplined approach to your work, your health, and your relationships, and you will begin to see that the more effort you put in now, the more freedom you'll have in the future. It's not about being locked in a cage, it's about building the keys to unlock doors to a life of independence, choice, and fulfillment. So remember, the path to freedom is paved with discipline. The disciplined person doesn't just wander aimlessly, they chart their own course, take deliberate steps, and as a result, they open up opportunities that others only dream of. One of the greatest challenges we face in life is managing our emotions. Emotions are powerful. They can either lift us up or drag us down. But here's the truth. If you don't learn to control your emotions, they will control you. If you allow your emotions to drive your decisions, you'll find yourself making choices based on fleeting feelings rather than on sound judgment or long-term goals. Think about the last time you got angry, frustrated, or overwhelmed. In those moments, did you make your best decisions? Or did you let your emotions take over, leading to actions you later regretted? Emotions are like the weather, they come and go. They're unpredictable and they don't always reflect the truth of the situation. If you make choices based on your emotions in the heat of the moment, you may end up far from where you want to be. To be truly successful, you must develop the ability to pause, to take a step back, and to examine what you're feeling before you react. You have to understand that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of your actions can last a lifetime. That's why controlling your emotions is so critical to your success. It's about being the master of your actions, not letting a passing feeling dictate your behavior. When you control your emotions, you're in a position of power. You're not swept away by anger, fear, or frustration. You don't let disappointment or discouragement stop you from moving forward. Instead, you stay grounded, focused, and clear-headed. You respond to challenges with calm, not chaos. You approach decisions with logic, not impulse. When you manage your emotions, you create the space to think strategically and take deliberate actions that align with your long-term vision. Mastering your emotions is also about being aware of how they affect your behavior and interactions with others. If you're controlled by anger or negativity, those emotions will spill over into your relationships, your work, and your overall life. But when you stay composed, when you remain positive and optimistic despite challenges, you begin to shape the reality around you. And don't let your emotions be the driver of your life. Be the driver. Learn to respond, not react. Take control, not just of your actions, but of how you feel about those actions. When you do this, you'll find that your path to success becomes much clearer and your journey much more rewarding. Success is often painted as this bright, shining moment, a finish line you cross after a quick burst of effort. But the truth is, success is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a long, steady journey that requires patience, persistence, and the ability to keep going even when the road gets tough. The problem with thinking of success as a sprint is that it encourages a mindset of quick results and instant gratification. People want to see immediate returns on their efforts. But here's the reality: the truly successful understand that it's not about rushing to the finish. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and making progress, no matter how small it may seem at the time. In a marathon, there are no shortcuts. You can't cut corners and you can't rush through the miles. You must pace yourself. You must stay focused on the long-term goal, even when it feels like you're not making fast progress. This is where most people fail. They quit because they don't see immediate results, or they get discouraged by the obstacles along the way. But success is built on the steady accumulation of effort over time. It's about making those small, consistent actions each day that add up to something significant. And yes, there will be days when you feel like you're running in circles, when you question whether it's worth it. But it's on those days when you push through despite the doubt that you make the most progress. Think about the great achievers, people who built successful businesses, who transformed their lives, or who made significant contributions to their fields. They didn't get there by sprinting. They got there by putting one foot in front of the other day after day, through rain and shine, when things were easy and when things were hard. They stayed in the race long enough to reach their destination. The key is to stay committed, to stay in the game, and to keep moving forward, no matter how slow the progress might seem. It's about building momentum. It's about perseverance. Success is a result of relentless, continuous effort. It's about knowing that the work you're doing today is laying the foundation for tomorrow. So if you want to achieve something extraordinary, don't focus on the quick win. Focus on the long-term journey. Stay consistent, keep your eyes on the goal, and remember that success is not about how fast you get there. It's about how long you're willing to keep going. The marathon may be long, but the finish line, when you finally reach it, will be worth every step you took to get there. If you want to change your life, it doesn't start with some grand gesture tomorrow. It starts today. Your future is being created right now by the choices you make in this very moment. People often think of success as something that happens in the future, but they forget that the future is simply the accumulation of all the little actions you take today, tomorrow, and the day after. Too many people put off their dreams, believing they have all the time in the world to make them happen. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll work on it next week. But the truth is, tomorrow is built on what you do today. The actions you take now are the foundation upon which your future success will be built. If you waste today, you're essentially wasting the building blocks of your future. Time is precious. It doesn't wait for anyone. Think about the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make each day, the book you choose to read, the workout you decide to skip, the conversations you have, the emails you send, or the habits you build. These things add up. They shape your life, your skills, your mindset, and your opportunities. Every single choice moves you closer to the person you want to become or further from it. The future doesn't just appear. It's created by the actions you take now. This is where the real power lies, understanding that you're not just living for today, you're living for the future. Every moment is an opportunity to shape that future. If you want a better life, you have to start by improving the little things today. And while it might not always seem like the little steps matter, they do. Over time, they accumulate and create significant change. The person you will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, is a result of the choices you make today. The habits you develop today, whether good or bad, will follow you into the future. If you decide to invest in learning today, that knowledge will compound over time. If you decide to develop discipline today, that discipline will shape your decisions for years to come. If you're not happy with where you are in life, take a hard look at what you're doing today. If you want to get ahead, start by changing what you do right now. Your future can be as bright as you make it, but it begins with the actions you take today. There is no magic secret to success. It's about making the right choices today that will lead you to the future you want. They don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now, because your future is already being created one decision at a time. If you want to live a life of true success, one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to delay gratification. We live in a world that's filled with instant rewards, fast food, social media, binge watching shows, you name it. Everywhere we turn, we're encouraged to satisfy our desires right away. But here's the truth. The most successful people are not the ones who chase every immediate pleasure. They are the ones who understand that true rewards come from patience, persistence, and the ability to delay that instant gratification for something far greater. Think about it. When you're constantly seeking short-term pleasures, you're sacrificing long-term gains. That's the key to success, learning how to say no to the things that feel good in the moment in order to say yes to something even better down the road. It's about understanding that the true rewards are not the ones that come immediately, but the ones that require effort, discipline, and time. You see, the person who can resist the urge to take the easy route now and instead puts in the work today for a better tomorrow is the one who sets themselves apart. Every decision you make today is either planting a seed for future success or future regret. You can either give in to the fleeting pleasures of the moment, or you can invest your time, energy, and resources into things that will pay off in the long term. It's not always easy. Delaying gratification takes discipline. It means putting off that small indulgence today for something far more meaningful tomorrow. But that's where the magic happens. The person who sacrifices a little now, who chooses to work late, save money, invest in themselves, or put in extra effort when others aren't, is the person who eventually reaps rewards far beyond what they could have imagined. This principle doesn't just apply to money or work, it applies to every area of life. Whether it's your health, your relationships, or your personal growth, delaying gratification means making choices that may not bring immediate satisfaction, but will lead to far more lasting and fulfilling rewards. If you're looking to lose weight, it's not about eating that extra dessert today. It's about making healthy choices every day for the long-term health benefits. If you want to build a successful career, it's about working hard today, even when the rewards aren't immediate, so that you can have the career you desire in the future. So ask yourself, are you willing to make the sacrifices today for the life you want tomorrow? Because the ability to delay gratification is what separates those who get by and those who truly succeed. The secret to success isn't about instant results. It's about having the patience and discipline to do what's necessary today for the rewards of tomorrow. Success isn't built on a few lucky breaks or a handful of heroic efforts. It's built on one thing above all: consistency. The person who shows up day after day, who keeps pushing forward even when the results aren't immediate, is the person who eventually wins. It's easy to get excited about something at first, to start strong, but the real key to success lies in continuing that effort even when the enthusiasm fades or the rewards seem far off. Think about it. If you want to get better at something, whether it's your health, your career, or your personal development, it doesn't happen with a burst of effort here and there. It happens with steady, consistent action, day after day, week after week, month after month. The secret isn't in how hard you work one week, but in how consistently you show up, do the work, and stay focused on your goals. Too often, people start strong but then lose momentum. They get discouraged when things aren't moving as quickly as they want. They see someone else achieve success faster and start doubting whether their efforts are worth it. But here's the truth: success is a marathon, not a sprint. And those who are consistent over time will always win in the end. The results may not come overnight, but if you keep showing up and doing the work, you will eventually reach your destination. The key is to trust the process. Success doesn't happen because you do something extraordinary once. It happens because you commit to doing the ordinary things day in and day out with discipline and focus. It's the person who writes one page every day who eventually finishes the book. It's the person who saves a little bit each month who eventually builds wealth. It's the person who works on their skills every single day who becomes an expert. And here's the beauty of consistency: the longer you stick with something, the easier it becomes. At first, it may feel like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. But as time goes on, that boulder begins to roll on its own. Your efforts compound, and what once felt difficult now feels almost effortless. That's the power of consistency. It builds momentum, and momentum is what carries you forward, even when you face challenges along the way. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Even on the days when you don't feel like it, even when you're not seeing immediate results, your consistency will eventually pay off. Success doesn't happen by chance, it happens because of the consistent everyday choices you make. So keep going, stay consistent, and know that over time your small, steady efforts will lead to extraordinary results. If you want to change your life, the first thing you must do is take full responsibility for it. You see, too many people look outside themselves for answers. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, their environment, or other people for their situation. But here's the hard truth: your life is the result of the choices you've made. It's not about what happened to you, but what you chose to do with what happened. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you have the power to shape your own future. It means accepting that your current circumstances, no matter how challenging they may seem, are the direct result of the decisions you've made in the past. You can't change the past, but you have complete control over what you do moving forward. Your success, your happiness, your future, it all starts with the choices you make today. This is where real freedom begins, when you accept that you are the captain of your own ship. You're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You're no longer blaming your boss, your family, or the economy for where you are in life. You're taking full ownership of your situation, and that's when you gain the power to change it. When you take responsibility, stop waiting for life to happen to you. You stop wishing things were different. Instead, you take action. You create the future you want by making the decisions today that will lead you there. If you want a better job, you don't sit around hoping for an opportunity to fall in your lap. You go out and look for it. If you want better health, you don't wait for motivation to strike. You create the habits that will get you there. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself about your weaknesses. It means looking at the areas of your life where you're not getting the results you want and asking yourself tough questions. Why aren't you where you want to be? What choices have you made that have led you here? What do you need to do differently moving forward? It's not always easy to face these truths, but it's the only way to make real progress. When you accept full responsibility for your life, you become empowered. You realize that you have the ability to change your circumstances at any time. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you always control how you respond. Life will throw challenges your way, it always does, but it's not what happens to you that matters, it's how you react to it. You can choose to rise above difficulties, to learn from them, and to keep moving forward. So take ownership. Take responsibility. Stop waiting for someone else to fix your life or for the world to change around you. If you want more, you have to take control of your destiny. The future you desire starts with the choices you make today. And the person who takes full responsibility is the one who creates the life they've always dreamed of. Your growth, whether it's personal, professional, or financial, is entirely in your hands. You're the one who decides whether you'll rise to the occasion or remain where you are. No one else is responsible for your development but you. Too often, people sit back and wait for life to hand them growth on a silver platter. But that's not how it works. Growth requires intention, effort, and a commitment to improving every single day. The truth is, the world will not pause or slow down to accommodate your needs. If you want to grow, you have to create the conditions for growth yourself. It's about taking control of what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your decisions. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving your mindset, or strengthening your discipline, the responsibility for your growth starts and ends with you. You cannot blame your environment for your lack of growth. Yes, we all face challenges, but those challenges are what forge greatness. Every difficulty, every setback is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. But only if you choose to see it that way. If you focus on the obstacles instead of the opportunities, you'll remain stuck. Growth comes from looking at life's challenges and deciding to move forward in spite of them. The key is to commit to continuous improvement. Growth doesn't happen overnight, it's a process. It's about making the decision to be better today than you were yesterday, no matter how small that improvement may seem. Maybe it's reading one more chapter in a book, making one more sales call, or simply being more patient with yourself and others. Each step forward counts, and those steps add up over time. And growth isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it means stepping outside your comfort zone, confronting your fears, and doing the things you're not naturally good at. It's easy to stay where it's safe, where you already know the outcomes, but real growth happens when you challenge yourself. You can't expect to grow in the same place doing the same things and expecting different results. You must stretch, you must push, and you must sometimes fail before you succeed. The beauty of personal growth is that it's available to anyone who chooses to pursue it. The moment you decide that your growth is in your hands, you take control of your future. There are no limits except the ones you set for yourself. When you invest in your growth, when you continually strive to learn, adapt, and improve, you create a future full of possibility. You'll find that the more you grow, the more opportunities open up for you, and those opportunities will help shape the life you've always dreamed of. So remember, if you want to change your life, start by taking responsibility for your growth. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. The power to grow is within you, use it. Excuses are the great barrier to success. They are the stories we tell ourselves to avoid taking action. I don't have enough time, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the resources. These excuses may sound convincing in the moment, but the reality is they don't serve you. They only keep you stuck where you are and prevent you from moving forward. When you make excuses, you surrender your power. You're essentially telling yourself that you have no control over your own life. But here's the truth, you are capable of so much more than you think. Every time you make an excuse, you're denying your own potential. The moment you stop blaming your circumstances and start taking full responsibility for your actions, you reclaim your power. You begin to see that the things holding you back are not the external forces, but the way you choose to respond to them. Excuses are just comfort zones in disguise. They allow you to avoid discomfort, avoid failure, and avoid the effort required to succeed. But what are you really avoiding? Growth. Success is never easy, and it will never be handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work for it. You have to embrace the challenges and the hard work, but if you continue to make excuses, you'll never experience the rewards of that hard work. You'll never see how far you can go if you keep telling yourself that it's too difficult, or you're not capable, or it's not the right time. Let's be honest, everyone faces challenges. Everyone has obstacles. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to those challenges. Successful people don't make excuses, they find solutions. They don't wait for the perfect moment, they create it. They don't wait for the right circumstances, they work with what they have and make progress anyway. When you stop making excuses, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You start looking for ways to overcome obstacles, rather than reasons why you can't move forward. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve. And when you make that shift, you begin to see just how much you can accomplish. So stop hiding behind your excuses. Stop allowing them to dictate your future. Life is too short to spend it making excuses for why things aren't happening. The only thing that stands between you and success is your willingness to stop making excuses and start taking action. No one else is responsible for your life but you. Take control, make the changes, and watch as the excuses that once held you back become the fuel that drives you toward your goals.